It's your buddy Zen. I sleep different hours these days, as you know. Um, so I'm up early, and you get up early, do a little meditation, and then because I'm a normal human, just like you, I'll peruse the internet, scroll around, look at things, see what the ways of the world are. When people say, turn the TV off, turn the TV off, don't pay attention to it, turn off the internet, don't get rid of social media. Except they don't like they're telling you to not to to be uninformed. That's what they're telling you. They don't. They think because it causes them a little bit of it causes them knowledge. They don't like that. But what you find out, what you notice, is the people that are making decisions for make decisions for the population for they actually affect your lives. Like some people don't think their lives are being affected by it. I mean, there are politicians or polytic. It's a tick. It's a bloodsucker. Many poly. Poly means a bunch. Tick means bloodsucker. Bunch of bloodsuckers. Those people still affect your comings and goings of life. I don't care if you live on a tiny little farm somewhere. They're going to have some rules and things that they're going to try to enforce upon you. And if you don't know that, like, they start spraying GMO seeds everywhere. They're getting their Monsanto products all over your farm. And all of a sudden, they're trying to like claim that you are using their it's a wide wacky world, and it's so crazy. I feel like, are we going backwards? And I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes to continue this because hopefully some people show up so they can. If you're here, say hello. I don't know. It's early, so I don't know. I don't know who will show up. But I want a couple ago I talked about that I saw this morning that I just found mm, disingenuous, reprehensible people. Um, one thing I'll always remind you: pay attention to the tonality, to the quality of someone's voice. You'll know right away. I've always found that to be like, I do this odd thing where I use my senses. If something smells like shit, it's probably shit. If something sounds stupid, it's probably stupid. you know, bad music is bad music, period. Something, yeah, you can look at a piece of art and say, I like that. Maybe it's subjective, maybe but if you look at it, you'll know. So I say, listen to the sound of these people's voices, and you'll know right away whether or not they have any value, they add any value, they're truthful, have any integrity. What I found is the majority of these people on the internet and obviously the major news media channels, you'll find out quite quickly that it's nothing like they're nothing more than like chicken heads. Like, are we going backwards? Are we like this? It sounds like to me a bunch of fucking high schoolers gossiping. That's all it is. There's two videos that I saw today. One was this politician who couldn't even finish a coherent sentence. He was almost as, or perhaps worse, than Joe Biden. Like, but he was younger. I don't know. So somebody's like, "Oh, he's the like Pennsylvania guy, I guess." Like he's got to be the most worthless person I've ever heard speak in my life. He said nothing of value, and everything he did say was idiotic. I don't remember his name. I don't pay attention to this shit, but I do a little bit because it does inform me. Uh, you know, see, like this is the kind of people that are, you know, controlling the ebb and flow of currency and legalese and all sorts of kind of little idiosyncrasies and things that are going on in your life. I hear them talk, and it's just like, why do these people? Why don't these people just shut the fuck up? Like they literally think they're doing something. They literally think they're saying something intelligent. And I've come across this so often lately. There's this dude that made this video about Santos Bonacci. Now, is Santos um the like is he a specimen of health and intelligence? He's put out so much quality work. And this dude, just by the sound of his voice, as soon as he started talking, I was like, oh, here's a bunch of fucking somebody riding coattails. Like who gives a fuck? Like I didn't watch. I couldn't watch the whole video because the sound of the guy and what he was saying was like, people that this is so funny. It's the same kind of idea I was telling you guys yesterday. People try to say shit to sound hyper intelligent when they like found a new word and they just want to insert it into their vocabulary. So it's like you think they're wildly smart, except for they're just saying shit. It's like I don't know anything about Santos. I know the information he's delivered. And I'll tell you, like, is him being a vegan a good idea? No, he's got that all wrong. I already I put the whole blast on the vegan stupid bullshit. You already know how I observe that. It's a dumb thing. It's part of the depopulation agenda. It's stupid. Um, but everything else he put out, because of the fact that he was putting out all this stuff on astrotheology and how the planets work, etc., etc., and then he was able to move his mind frame from the Earth being a ball, which all of his schematics and teachings were based on that. And somehow he said, you know what? Actually, the realm we live on is pretty flat, and he was able to change his mind on that. That showed me that he was a pretty okay dude. And anyways, he got a dude out here. I don't know who the hell this guy is. He's like Santos Bonacci and this other guy is no good. They're bad people. Like, why are you? Why? What kind of life do you have to live to just dig up some like dead bodies? Why you so like? Why are you jumping out his fucking nutsack like that? Leave the fucking guy alone. He's trying to help people, and this person's out here. And I suggest, well, I mean, feel free to find the video. I wouldn't listen to it because I already knew as soon as it sounded like he had a bag of marbles in his mouth while he was speaking. And he kept trying to use a bunch of, string together a bunch of big words. And he wasn't making really very much sense. Or it's like these people that see when I talk like this, because it's not, he was reading off of what he wrote. I know he wasn't doing it off the fly. I speak in a very special and unique way. Yes, I do. I'm very good with language. I'm a color commentator for you fucking people. So don't get it twisted. If you hear me like screw up some words, I know. Throw out a couple. I'm gonna cherry pick a few words and be fun with it and say something like egregious. These people are egregious with their undertakings of trying to be diabolical with their dialectic. Yeah, try that. Try that on for size. And they're just not as good as me. Sorry to break it to you. I'm just really good at it. I got a fucking master's degree in fuck you isms. Um, yeah. What's up, Avro man? What you doing? Santos is a RN therapy enthusiast. Uh, yes, I believe he is. I don't know how much he still practices, but I know he's on that vegan tip. Like, I mean, obviously, I am like, I'll tell anybody, like, what's wrong with you? They're like, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong. And I'm like, all right, you want the answer? You want the real answer? How to fix yourself? You gotta trust me on this, but it's the answer. And they don't really want the answer. I'm like, drink your piss. They won't do it. Like, have some goddamn self-respect. Like, I still don't understand how people uh they'll drink a diet cola, uh really microwave meals with all these chemicals and whatever. They'll put that into their face. But the thing that just came out of them, which is cleaner than what they put inside, because I'm not asking you to eat poopy. Poopy is no good. Don't eat that. That's disgusting. Drop that on the ground where it belongs, behind you, and keep walking forward. And what comes out of you, like that's your clean. That's ultra plasma filtrate. It's your cleansed blood coming out of you. Put that back into you. It's the cleanest, healthiest thing you could fucking possibly do. And people out here drinking a diet soda and smoking a cigarette, telling me that that's not a good idea. Look, and people are really like highly mind controlled, and they have thought police themselves. They're wildly unable to even form thoughts and then translate those thoughts into coherent sentences. And the more I watch people, like it's like I'm watching life happen like in reverse, where people are getting dumber. If you don't think people are getting dumber, you're not paying attention. Like it is an absolute. I don't really have a good word for it, but like just try it out. Just look at who runs your country. Look at that fucking guy, and look at the administration. And those people are the leaders of what's going on with everything that's happening. Like that's we're okay with that. I mean, people still like the fact that McDonald's and Taco Bell and fast food franchises and Starbucks, the fact that those things are not only still in business but growing as businesses must it's telling you something. Like everyone knows. You know Starbucks is expensive and it's trash. You know McDonald's is no good for you. And it's not fast. They call it fast food. Have you ever went to McDonald's? I've been there a few times. I'm not gonna clown on the place. It's a Ronald McDonald joke. Yeah. I, it's not fast and it's not cheap. It's not. It used to be like you got what you paid for. It. Now it's like I was like looking at the menu the other day, and I was like, what is going on here? How is this? How is this shit so expensive? But the question is, how are there more people? Because just take a look at their stock prices, look at the amount of franchises that opening up, pop up over here. How are people choosing to go and consume that shit? Like you would think that this is proof of how dumb we are as a species. And I don't. It's hard for me to say we because I really don't feel like I'm human anymore. I can't even accept half the shit that people are doing. Yes, I do my share of dumb deeds, but I, I just like the the simple fact that there are more McDonald's and more Starbucks and more people spending money at these places shows that even the last generation pushed their next of kin into participating in such buffoonery into the addiction of those kind of things. What do I think about Arnold Earhart's mucusless diet and immune system? Um, I don't I don't know the dude, but mucusless diet. I don't know, man. Is it somewhat next to Sebi's bullshit? Because I don't like. Here, proof is in the pudding. Look at the guy. He looked like a toothpick. He didn't know what he was talking about. He was telling black people in America that they're from Africa. So he was already wrong right there. He wasn't telling them they were Native American. I know he was from the islands or whatever, but he had the story wrong from the get-go. So he's like, everything came from Africa. Let me remind you, let me remind every single one of you one more thing. The out of Africa theory was a white man's theory to divide people and convince them that slavery happened. Now, I'm not saying there wasn't something to the effect, but it didn't happen the way you were told. These people, everything didn't come out of Africa. It didn't. Slave ships were not coming here. The slave ships were Slavic people going to the north. It wasn't black people being chained down. There's no evidence of it whatsoever. The black people are already here. The melanated people are already here. You didn't come from Africa. You don't know your tribe. Africa's a continent. What country did you come from? You came from America. You were already here. And so were your ancestors as far back as you can fucking figure out. But here's what they do. They rid you of the knowledge. You don't know anything past your grandmother. Some people know their great grandmother, but that would give you at most maybe at most 100 years, which would only bring you back to 1920. And I guarantee your grandmother doesn't remember when it was 1920. She might remember 1930s. So you start with the Great Depression. Yeah. What kind of knowledge are you really getting? Now, if you're lucky and if you're in your 40s and you knew your grandmother and could recall some of the stories, and you knew your great grandmother, recall some stories from when you were a child, maybe you get back to like the early 1900s. Other than that, what you have is a bunch of fucking books written by people that were lying to you. Uh, History was written by the winners. Okay, get it? It's always worked that way. I mean, give yourself a quick, splash some cold water in your face, kick yourself in the ass. How do you think that the Vatican works? How are their entire underground vaults that they tell you exist there? They have a bank and they have an underground vault with books and information that they don't give to you. What kind of bullshit is that? Why wouldn't they allow that? Why wouldn't they print out those documents and allow everyone to have access to the information that's in the Vatican underground? They tell you how big it is. It's like the biggest library of knowledge in the world. You can't access that. Why? Because they're hiding the truth. I mean, I just don't. How do people not understand how manipulated this reality has been for all of you? They're not telling the truth about anything. And what people are more interested in is listening to somebody talk shit on somebody like Santos talking shit about him. They're more interested in that, or they're more interested in going and getting their sausage McMuffin. They're more interested in um, cooler talk, water cooler talk. They're interested in, I like a football game. I think it's interesting. I I know that it's a scripted event. I know, but it's fun sometimes. But people be holding on to that. No, no, like they want to watch. They want to watch their favorite TV shows and talk just random nonsense. That they don't. No one gives half a shit about learning anything. There's no learned people anymore. That's like it's like a like to be a Renaissance man is it, it doesn't matter. Like nobody cares. People are more interested in fucking flashes in the pan, like just like hot grease and the fireworks and sparkles. That's what people are into. Um, what about from what I consider the Vatican a mystery school? Well, I would. How could it be a school if you can't access it? Is it a mystery? Yes, because you don't know what's down there. You can make assertions, and you could. Here's the thing: if you can get out of body and you get into the astral realm, it's even difficult there. Try going to the vet, get out of body. I teach people how to do this. I teach you how to, OBEs and astral travels and all this. Try to go there. There's still things on that realm that protect it or defend it or whatever you want to call it. It's like you can't. It's like difficult to go directly into the moon or the sun. Those are portals. I mean, I've been through a couple portals to other dimensions. You go through stars. Those stars are connected to different realms. But I wouldn't call it a school because it's a mystery. Period. If you could access it and gain any of the knowledge, yeah. It's like shit to call something a mystery school. You'd have to say that what I teach is mystery school shit. Because like most people that come here, you didn't know half the fuck. You didn't even know a quarter of the shit that I'm telling people. How did I figure it out? Because I just researched, I just dug, I just dropped into. Hey, this is interesting. Let me read this book. Let me follow this little rabbit hole into this one. And then I figured out what made sense and fit together. And just to clean up that mucusless diet thing, um, is it a good idea? I don't know. Let me get back to the food thing just for a second. If it has a seed and it grows, probably call that food. What did your boy say? Let food be your medicine and medicine be your food. Just eat that. If you have to eat, if eat honey, eat uh honey is death free. No death involved. Milk is death free. No death involved. Eggs. Go eat milk, honey, and eggs if you choose to. I would. I think it's a good idea. And go eat fruits and vegetables. If you find yourself in cold climates, go ahead and you're probably gonna have to eat some meat. You're probably gonna have to eat some animal product, like animal. Yeah, for sure. And if you're near the water, go catch some fish and eat that. It's pretty easy. Not that complicated. Mucusless diet, like I don't know, like eat some. Did grains grow? Can you turn it into flour? Can you make flours into dough? Can you make bread? Can you make beer? Drink that shit. I don't know, man. It's just people have complicated everything. There's too many. There's too many diets. What is it? Talks about you seen Zeta Reticuli Gray already? Yeah, the Vatican. That's what kind of about talks about. Yeah, sure. I mean, I don't really. I just don't. It just doesn't concern me that much. You know what I mean? Like I don't like all these different species and stuff. Like I'm cool with them. I don't care. Yeah, angels, demons, reptiles, they're all fine with me. Like, be cool, bro. I'm not. It's not that serious. It's like people be getting obsessed with this shit, and I think that causes a lot of they cause themselves a lot of psychological traumas just by being, people that are like overly obsessed with like, oh, everything's an alien, everything's this, and everything's like, and they just become very, um, they become so focused on it. It's an obsession. Like for me, I talk about this shit because it makes sense to me, but it's not like from like my everyday living doesn't is not encompassed with that. My everyday living is consumed with hugging people, talking whatever kind of shit, listening to music. That's my day-to-day life. But the whole like aliens and reptoids and well, I mean, yeah, I get it. Like, what do you for me it's always this when people are like, oh, there's reptoids running the government. Like, okay, cool, but what are you gonna do about it? I can't stress that enough. That people become obsessed with things. Cause don't you remember the lesson when you're little? I think everyone was told this. Maybe you weren't. Maybe that's my fault. My assumption that you know something that you don't know. When you were little, you were told, um, don't stress about things that you have no control over. You know, affect what you can, where you can, help where you can, to do what you're capable of. And there's things that are outside of the gambit of your auric field, your whole. You can't. There's nothing you can do about it. What do you think? What do you think? I'm going to just stop McDonald's from existing? You think I'm going to go and have a whole campaign to shut down all the WalMarts? Like that's not going to work. No, there's nothing I could do to do that. That's just a silly. It's called a fool's quest. I would have. Why would I do that? It'd be a waste of time and energy. What can I do though? I can walk down the street and I can find somebody that is having a bad day, and I can give them a dollar. I can give them a beer. I can have a conversation with them. I can acknowledge their existence. That's what I can do. If you have a little bit more money, maybe you're worth a few million. Maybe you could have start some grassroots corporations, some businesses that assist the community. Do community service works for people. I mean, but on the grand scale, you're not. There's nothing you're gonna do about fucking the Queen of England. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Did she just die? Now there's another guy. I don't know. There's nothing you're doing about that. So why are you obsessed over it? And I find that people become obsessed over things they don't have any impact on. It's like I would say it's equivalent to, people that are, hey, thanks for coming through, XYZ. I don't know why you do. I don't know why this is happening lately. Like it's mad corny. Here's my question. See, like, see the little comment over there. It says, "Fine, sexy XYZs. Ooh, hot photos. Like, how is it that shows up on my feed? Like, the YouTube does nothing about that happening. Clearly, that is a stupid thing. Clearly, that is something they can have an algorithm to stop from happening unless they're doing it. Because how many times have I made a video and somehow they can find something in one of my videos. They can find a song that's playing in the background for 30 seconds and give me a copyright claim. They can do that. They can do that like it happens instantaneously. I could say something right now and somebody's like, oh, he said misinformation. Misinformation. But they can't figure out how not to have sexy finder XYZ. They can't stop that from happening. Or they're encouraging it. Like what kind of dog shit is that? it is weird that as a species we become so obsessed with uh how people use language, like that we haven't even learned in the past, I don't know how many years now, that we still like, the whole George Carlin bit about the 7 words you can't say and like things that people find like the whole people being offended by words you use. Like if I was like, you're all a bunch of cunts, the only people that are actually going to be offended are people that are cunts. You know that? If I were to say all the words, like pick words that you don't like, those are the ones gonna insult you and you're gonna be offended by. If I say you're all a bunch of fat shits and you weigh 100 pounds, you're gonna get a chuckle out of that. If you're 400 pounds and you feel like you're a fat shit, you're gonna be upset with that. Now, did I make you a fat piece of negligible, nonsensical ignoramus? Did I do that to you? No, you did that to you. Your parents did that to you. Reality did that to you. Whatever. I didn't do it. I just happened to say you're a fat piece of shit. No, no. Why should you be mad at me? Why wouldn't you be mad at McDonald's? Why wouldn't you be mad at? Why wouldn't you just be upset with yourself for having consumed reality the way you did? If you're an old stinky cunt, maybe you should douche yourself. I didn't give you a stinky cunt. I wouldn't have relations with you. Is that a thing? But it's just funny that people haven't learned to like, oh, I don't know, like move on, live and let live, that kind of thing. Like just relax, just keep it moving. Okay, I am keep it moving. I'm impressed with the ability for people to just continue on with being dumb as fuck. It's like I thought people were supposed to, as you got older, I thought you were supposed to get smarter. That you could alter and change all sorts of paths and your thought processes and whatnot. Yet, yet people just continue on being like they just they, it's always the words ignorance and arrogance. People are impressed. They're arrogant about their ignorances. You ever have a conversation with somebody and you know for a fact, and you're absolutely certain that what you're saying is correct, but they think they're right, and they'll argue like heatedly. But like, if you had a third party perspective, they'd be like, oh yeah, yeah, he's saying that is a red automobile. He's correct, and they're sitting there going, that's a fucking block of cheese, and I know it's a block of cheese. And you're like, nah, buddy, it's not. And then you're just like, how do you what do they say about stupid people? Don't argue with stupid people because they'll bring you down to their level and beat you with with just being superior at being stupid. And the problem with that is that the more and more I talk to people, I either get a grandiose amount of kind, loving, compassionate, wonderful people. That's pretty much my practice. That's what I interact with. Sure, it's awesome. I find a lot of that. But I also, because I talk to quite a number of people on a daily basis, I probably talk to as many people as somebody that works on a McDonald's drive-through line. You know what I'm saying? But I have more intense, in-depth conversations. And I noticed that there are just such a number of people that are completely unaware or full of shit, and they just keep talking. And I'm just like, can you shut the fuck up? Yeah, man. I'm gonna give myself quick break here to meditate. If you'd like to meditate with me, as many videos I've shared in that videos. Meditation is as simple as just do what you're doing, just acknowledge what you're doing. Most people assume that meditation requires you to put yourself in a funky posture and to do something with your fingers and to close your eyes and say Om or some shit. No, that's not. You don't have to do all that. It might help you. Meditation is simply being aware that you're sitting there, or some people meditate when they run. That's why I do it. It's they get into a rhythm and they get in that pattern when they're meditating. Some people think about it when they take a jog, take a walk. Other people don't like it. Some people like to sit and meditate. There's different types of meditations. For me, oddly, sometimes talking is a meditation to me. Why? Because I like the vibration of my voice. I like it. It's nice. Most people say it. Most people also like it, and that to me, like that's cool. You like the sound of my voice? Nice. You didn't like the sound of my voice? Shut off the fucking video. I have people that actually don't like me that listen to my shows that have dumb shit to say to me. But oddly, I'm kind of a enigmatic, magnetic character, and people even despite the fact that they despise me, they listen to me. You ever do that? For me, I don't really participate in such endeavors. I don't. If I don't like someone, I don't really listen to what the fuck they have to say. It seems like the opposite of what you want to do. Like you listen to it a little bit and go, oh, yeah, you're wholly like for instance, do I go on to CNN or Fox or whatever? Do I listen to those channels? No. I mean, a little bit here and there, just to keep my ear to the streets, to know what's going on. So that when I go out in the public, I'm gonna hear somebody chirp about that same shit that they're saying. I'm like, oh, you're an idiot that listens to that shit. Cool. And so basically, I just gotta go. Oh, where'd you get that the info? You got it from the statist propaganda institutions, which is literally called the uh, was it third arm of the government. Did you know that? You know how that? Don't you remember back in when George Bush was the first George Bush? I think it was or was it Reagan? Maybe it was Reagan that said it. He says, "Well, thank you so much to the media for doing what you do because you allow us to start to implement our plans." Like uh, just nodded to them, just in front of everyone. Everyone's like, "Ooh, yeah, whatever." Not even people don't get it. Like, what do you think the information I'm providing you with is? Uh, like, is there anyone that is capable of constructing any type of coherent, logical progression of thoughts? Like, there just seems to be so few intelligent people left. I don't know, maybe did I get smarter or did I get dumber? And because I'm so dumb, I'm suffering from that. What do they call that complex where dumb people think they're smart? Which one's that? I forget which one they call that. Y'all know what I'm talking about if you've been all if y'all been on the internet before. Maybe that's it. Maybe I'm the dumb one. Maybe that's it. Maybe I've gotten dumber. Everybody else got smarter. I just didn't notice it. like it would appear to me as people got dumber because they actually believe that electric cars get their electricity from from magic plugged in the wall. When I'm just like, no, where do you think the electricity comes from? From the plug? Like, yeah, but you got to go back to where is it being made? It's coming to your house to go into your car. And do you know what that's made? You know how it's being done. Like, you're not going back. You're not going backwards far enough. So like, I know this to be a fact. I know how lithium batteries are made. And if you just stop for a second and go, how would you make a lithium battery? How do you mine that? What kind of materials? What kind of manpower? What kind of and the machines, are they all Tesla machines running on solar power? No. Do you know how disgusting those things are? Do you know how awful those? Do you know Teslas, like, those are not safe, bro. You know, like the battery that's sitting underneath the whole car. You ever seen one catch fire? You understand like how you could really not that's not a good. Now, am I saying that we should continue to use uh well, see, now people are like, oh, fossil fuels that came from dinosaur bones. Like, how dumb are you? That's not how it works. Like, there's already so many documentaries and pieces of information to point to the fact that it didn't come from dinosaur bones, you dumb shits. Like, how do you not get that? It's actually renewable. It's an oil. What do you think they do with corn to make oil? Corn oil to make gasolines and to make corn mash to give you alcohol, and alcohol goes into your cars as a diesel fuel, but then they put a chemical in diesel fuel so you don't drink it. That's how it works. But nobody thinks about this. And it's like, if you just were to think about it for a second, you might figure it out. But now everybody's like, oh, go get a green car. You need a green car. You need to go vegan. When's the last time you've seen something that got pushed so heavily through the media as much as veganism is? Everybody, I'm gonna say this again, just for people that are on this vegan cult and the green car cult and the electric car. Everyone in how you all of you always talk shit about people in Hollyweird, how awful they are, how they're bad people, and you can't trust them. Da 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 da. Yet all of those people are like pushing green cars, electric cars, and going vegan. But then you go, but that's what we need to do. This is why I can't understand people. That's hypocrisy, isn't it? Wouldn't that be that? You just told me that everyone in Hollywood is is a like a fucking, I don't know, an evil person, I guess. They're all shapeshifters, they're all aliens, they're whatever you think, they're all fucking whatever you think. And you don't trust them. But then you're gonna go and just push. You're gonna follow the agenda they're pushing. Then you should probably question why that is. Vegan. I want to go vegan. It's better for the planet. Oh, when people, oh man, I'm just like, there's so many. I think I know why I haven't had a girlfriend or you know, I because they're just there's I find so many like, oh, I can't fuck with you. That's the way you think. If you think that if you think an electric car is healthy and good, and you think vegan diet is good, then like I can't trust you. Like, there's a song by Immortal Technique. and I think is it Are the Rugged Man? It's called Who Can You Trust? Who do you trust? And I'm like, there's not a lot of people you can really. People are either they're untrustworthy because they're out for themselves only, or they're untrustworthy because they're dumb as fuck. I don't know. Uh-oh, what happened here? Hello there. Okay, nice. Okay, gonna have to do this again. Cool. Am I gonna have to restart this again because now it's echoing at me? Hold on. Can you guys hear me? Oh, hey, this sexy fuck is back here again, and I've already blocked them, but it's unblocked them. That's hilarious. All right, well, here's what I'll say, guys. I'm just gonna restart the show because this is all fucked up over my end. See you guys in a second.